very much, Dash. Welcome to the Battle Arena. Freak and Azael here to bring you the call of Echo Fox versus Golden Guardians as we begin the second round robin of the LCS Summer Split.
That's true. We're here and we are already underway into Champion Select here for the first game of the day. Echo Fox with their slightly changed up roster here. Mike Young moving back into the LCS, back on stage, and going to be hunting for his first win with Echo Fox.
Hope they can turn it around. Of course, the old meme with Rush was that he wouldn't ever lose on Sundays, but that didn't seem to be true based on the record so far. Currently in last place, hoping to turn things around with 9 games to play. Golden Guardians had a very, very strong start to the split. It has not been so good recently. It's been a bit of a slide, but we know they have the talent to go back up.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been pointing towards their bot lane as that weakness. Definitely in Olay had not been performing up to the standards that we are used to from them, and I think that's a big reason why we're seeing FBI as well as Huhi slotted in that bottom lane yesterday, and it did not work out for them. You know, they did get very far behind, but certainly I think a lot of the credit was deserved from Meteos, and he was there for all the counter ganks when they were trying to force on the bottom side, and Arrow got so fed on this Draven. So interested to see a second appearance here for FBI and Huhi and find out if they can actually match up well against Apollo and Hakuo.
I always like to believe in new additions, so I'm still stoked for Mike Young, still stoked for FBI and Huhi, and we'll see who can have a better result here today. Both teams, of course, did lose on Saturday. Sejuani's first pick is not much of a surprise, still on 9.12, definitely queen of the jungle and of most draft phases. Yeah,
it certainly has been the case. An early Lux here, definitely expecting that to be support for Huhi. There is the possibility of it being flexed around. You know, there has also been in Academy and in some other areas, we're seeing some Gragas support. Huhi actually being one of the guys who has played this a little bit. So there is... Oh. This is actually really interesting. I think that was a takeaway. I think they're saying you pick Gragas, it's going to be a Gragas Yasuo comp. So they are actually taking the Yasuo away from Golden Guardians, somewhat disrupting their draft. And you do have 2 knockups alongside this as well, right? The Q is actually a knockup there from Sejuani that allows you to ult. The Nautilus R can get you a multi-man knockup. Even the Nautilus hook has a slight little grab that you can ult off of. So we'll see what the adjustment is going to be, and it will be Kalista. So Kalista definitely is making me feel that this is probably a Gragas support in that bottom lane, playing alongside a pretty aggressive AD here. I think you could play it with Lux, but it makes a little bit less sense to me because generally you want to go for the sort of all-in style of play if you are going to be drafting Kalista at the pro level.
The way it's 2 aggressive laners in a row now for FBI. Lucian yesterday and did have an early CS lead, but Meteos' counter gank said turn that lane around, but it's still the same sort of look for the Golden Guardians duo. Early lane aggression, early game power. As you're saying about the Gragas being a likely support, that does seem to line up. Keep in mind, Froggen had one on Lux earlier so far this split. It is one of his better champions results-wise, so we'll wait to see what comes out of the end.
And it is definitely still possible for that to be flexed around, right? You know, you could still put that in the jungle. You could still put the Lux support based on what the matchups are, based on what has actually been selected for Echo Fox. So certainly an advantage there in terms of flexibility, I think, of where these things are going. The Yasuo, could theoretically be going to 3 lanes, but Apollo does not really strike me as a Yasuo player. I've not seen Solo really play it either, so I am certainly expecting that this is a mid lane Yasuo here for Echo Fox. Maybe one of their players will prove me wrong, but for now, I think that is where I will be assuming it's going, and I think that's where Golden Guardians is going to assume it's going as well.
Well, if it's Yasuo mid, it'll be Phoenix's 6th unique champion in as many games, and wait to see if that is indeed what happens here as the final bans come through. Nico and Akali banned out, so they are expecting Solo to still have his top laner to grab later on. We're seeing Braum banned away, just in case there's still a support to be seen, and LeBlanc away from Froggen in case that Lux is down there. Just kind of covering both bases. You never know for sure. Blind Renekton gonna come through in case it is a Yasuo.
So you could actually be taking this Renekton and give it to Haunter and just have him follow the Yasuo around the map for either solo lane. So, that is a very strong early matchup. Yasuo relies pretty heavily on being able to be very evasive, on actually like outplaying a lot of skill shots and these sorts of things. Well, Renekton just kind of says, no, you can't do that. You have the stun to actually lock him down, and you could be looking at something like a Renekton, put the Gragas in the jungle, very strong ganking duo there, who could look to abuse this Yasuo. Syndra getting locked in It does make me think that, hey, maybe it is actually going up there to solo. But this is very interesting. This is, I think, maybe Syndra bot would be my guess.
So Apollo
could also be Apollo Yasuo.
Apollo has played mages. I know he put in a lot of time practicing Vladimir back when we had many fewer marksmen in the bottom lane, but we will see what he ends up playing. It's going to be probably either the Yasuo or the Syndra. We'll see what gets flexed around.
Yeah, Gangplank almost guaranteed to be top. So you're assuming that it is Gangplank top and then Yasuo mid or bot. I am going to guess that this is Apollo Syndra and Phoenix Yasuo. We'll see if that does become the case, as Phoenix certainly, I think, the most experienced Yasuo player out of that group. But there is the ability, that these players have to have been practicing these picks, to be grinding on those picks, especially with Rift Rivals. We had seen even yesterday so many bans targeted towards Yasuo, a lot more respect being given to the pick, as people really saw the effectiveness of it from a lot of these LEC teams. Cloud9 had brought it out before Rift Rivals. TL as well used it at Rift Rivals to great effect, and it is going to be swapped there. So as expected, Phoenix will get the Yasuo, and it will be the Syndra bot.
Galaxy Brain Azael saw it coming. Apollo on Syndra, and Phoenix is indeed going to grab the Yasuo. And as you mentioned, can Hauntzer follow him around? The problem is Vel'Koz is not a good top laner. No escapes, long lane, slow movement. That's going to make that hard. Yeah,
so they may end up just leaving, this mid lane alone. I think when the Vel'Koz gets locked in, you may just be opting out of that sort of strategy. If this was an Aurelia mid or something like that, you could be kind of more flexible, but certainly not the case. So guessing that we will just have this Vel'Koz farming mid against the Yasuo, and we are going to likely have Renekton versus GP top. Renekton certainly a matchup that can bully GP very heavily early on, but we all know how strong GP is as far as scaling, and Solo has turned in some very good Gangplank performances. One of the 2 wins for EchoFox this year was a Gangplank hard carry. I want to say against...
it was TL. Yeah, it was against TL. He did very well for this one, but either way, he picked the matchup knowing Renekton was already locked in. Not guaranteed it was top, but seemed pretty likely, and we are on to the Rift right here. EchoFox 2 and 7. Golden Guardians 4 and 5. Now keep in mind, 4 wins is currently in playoff position right now. There's that big tie for first at 6, and then a 2-game barrier before the next squad. So certainly it's possible to make playoffs still with 9 to play. Both these teams can make that surge.
Yeah, this is really interesting. You can see it's actually fleet footwork on the Yasuo, Doran Shield, and Exhaust. So pretty defensive setup here early on to be able to kind of survive all this poke that the Vel'Koz can potentially throw out. You can block the Vel'Koz Q with your wind wall. You cannot block the W. You cannot block the R. I do actually think that the E is blockable as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that is how I actually remember that interaction, that it does actually count as a little bit of a projectile.
Yeah.
And we're also really going to have to kind of watch and see how comfortable does Apollo look on this Syndra. So, Syndra plus Nautilus does strike me as a lane where they're going to be trying to push. You have quite a bit of AoE, try to shove in and kind of deny any potential pressure coming out from the Kalista with that sort of strategy. Also at level 6, you have Ignite. You have such easy setup for the Scatter of the Weak. If you get any sort of lockdown from the Nautilus, that pretty much guarantees you will land your stun, and seems pretty strong.
Nice little play right here. We saw Phoenix land a Q onto the Raptors right as the camp spawned, and then walked over to the lane so he can get the Tornado a little bit sooner than normal. But Froggen did poke him and started the Mana Flow Band timer as FBI and who he going to put the shields up and take an auto attack trade. And you can't trade against that kind of Lux shield, and FBI just puts in the autos, and Apollo going to have to be very respectful here.
Yeah, I actually really like the start of the shield there from Huhi. I think that was very intelligent. Instead of just starting E for a little bit of poke, you throw out shield on both members, and you just start auto-attacking. At level 1, you're going to heavily outmatch any potential damage that they can throw back towards you, and you can see that is the strategy. Drop the W, walk forward, look for those auto-attacks, and try to poke them down.
Worked pretty well so far. Have seen a couple of other LCS supports also start that one. Cast a Zazel game yesterday with a similar thing, and forward they go. Nice Q's gonna land, and could go for an auto Ren, not just yet though. Onto the turret regardless, and Huhi gonna earn 11 gold per auto attack for that.
Yeah, gonna be able to stack that up fairly easily, at least in the early levels, but have to be a bit more careful. Nice little jump away there from FBI to avoid that hook from Hakuo. And if you ever do get hit by one part of the CC, the follow-up is going to be there. But you also have to remember, Nautilus, it's pretty much a one-way trip usually if you are looking for those potential all-ins. So you have to be pretty damn sure that you're going to be able to kill them off, because if you fail, you are going to be in some trouble. Kalista is a champion that can punish you so heavily for any sort of failed all-in, hopping after you with that passive, stacking up the spears, and you can potentially just die.
Definitely the case here. Contracts now playing into the bottom side of the map. There doesn't seem to be any camps to take, though, as the Krugs are already gone, so...
They may want to look potentially for a dive here. I think they are, yeah.
Gonna find damage into Apollo. There's the flash Q, lands on a Gragas, actually. Enough damage is in for first blood already. Now into the turret for Hakuho. He's got 200 HP left. The turret doing a lot of damage to Contracts. He pulls aggro as well. Do they complete the dive? Waiting for the Ren cooldown to come back up. Another bind's gonna land. A single auto! And the flash in! He grabs it! The Golden Guardians duo is 2-0 already.
That was sick. This early dive, 3-4 minutes here. They get them both. All their summoners out as well, and they don't even lose a member. That was very well handled there by the Golden Guardians, juggling this aggro back and forth. So they are going to actually look to start it up. They do grab aggro here onto FBI. It does swap back over onto Huhi, who had the Aftershock, and they're just kind of constantly resetting this. Contracts flashing out. They now wait for the cooldowns to come back up, hit the binding. Huhi walks out after taking that first power shot, and they are eventually able to get that final kill as Apollo TP's back in, but no one left around for him to try to take down.
Nicely done. Contracts came over, and the duo lane is now a huge point of strength. Now, keep in mind, Golden Guardians do not have teleport themselves, so as Apollo's back in the lane with the Dark Seal back to farming, it'll be a long walk back for FBI, but he's already made that trip. He's got the double long sword, and he's equal in farm.
Yeah.
Plus he's gold. Most
of that gold, really did go to Huhi, so he is going to have that early Frostfang, going to be feeling pretty good about that, and having it on these AP supports can be pretty effective, actually. Will allow him to stack up that Frostfang a lot faster, get to his Sightstone more quickly, and even work towards things like that Athenes a lot earlier on in the game, which is going to give them quite a bit of added power. And I generally feel like it feels a lot better to get those kills on a support like Lux than it does if you have a Tahm Kench or a Braum or something along those lines.
Totally agree, unless they need a QSS for something like a Skarner. They don't really need the items to do their job very well. As we look back into the mid lane, Froggen last sitting under turret as best he can, but you can see he's out of mana and getting pushed to his limits here as Phoenix is shoving in pretty costly. Of course, no mana pool to be worried about on the Osmo side.
Exactly, and I think that's pretty key because this is not a teleport Vel'Koz, right? He's actually playing Cleanse as an answer to potentially, the Sejuani stun, the Nautilus later on, and these sorts of things. So Phoenix is just non-stop shoving him in, making him stay around, and he is establishing a nice CS advantage as a result. He's 2 waves ahead now. We'll see how much of this Froggen can pick up, but the longer Froggen stays, the harder it gets to actually, maintain with this low mana.
And what's crazy as well is even though Contracts would theoretically be pretty dangerous as a level 5 blue smite jungler, because Froggen has so little mana, he's not threatening in a potential gank, so you can actually play with a bit more abandon as Phoenix and know that it's a 1v1 anyway if he shows up.
Yep, definitely the case. You can see Golden Guardians a little bit nervous here on the bottom side. They don't know exactly where Mike Young is, so it's allowing Apollo and Hako to sit on this freeze for a bit longer than perhaps they otherwise would be able to. You can see FBI and Huhi were trying to shove it in with their long-range abilities, but still having to be respectful of the fact that Sejuani could be there because their only ward in that bot side jungle actually had expired. So, they really have no vision in this area at all, and that is making them play so safely. And it's also why Contracts is getting called down. We'll see now if Golden Guardians can kind of bait them into any sort of engage, but at the very least, Contracts is protecting them to push in and reset the wave.
And pretty safe. Well played right there. Golden Guardians are playing around bottom side, and again, this is what you expect when you pick a draft like this. They grabbed the early Kalista, they wanted a lane bully, and they got just that. Now pushing through bottom lane, Red Buff has respawned. They know where this camp was started. And
looking for Phoenix.
It's actually, not the Red Buff steal, but the mid lane gank. Froggen has the mana pool here. Here comes the attempt at a body slam. Gotta land that one. Bind on top. They're gonna have a lot of damage. And FBI on the scoreboard now as well. 3-2-0.
Really nice move up towards mid lane. Taking that bot lane priority and just moving the bot lane and the jungler up. So 4 men show up mid for Phoenix and rightfully holds onto those summoners. I think there was no escaping that one once he actually got connected by the body slam. Then you're going to get bound. Then you're going to have the knock-up. There's so much follow-up CC. So they will get that kill, and they should grab this dragon for themselves as well. Golden Guardians out to a very strong early start.
There's a chance he misses the smite. Okay, Mike Young had the trinket ward over the wall, never was swept out. Blast cones over, lands the smite, and at least something is on the board for Echo Fox.
So Contracts didn't actually have smite, I do believe. So, they should have actually stayed around and helped to finish that off. FBI went back towards the lane, and they do get punished for that.
Now fighting the top side, the Haunts are very low on health. Solo feels like he can do it. He gets the auto the Q, and the burn from the passive is the rest of the damage. Solo grabs the kill solo in the top lane.
Yeah, getting solo killed by a GP early on as this Renekton is going to feel so bad for Haunter. This is a matchup that is just going to get tougher with time, and Solo going to be feeling so good about his position now in this 1v1.
Corrupting Potion at work, and again, he saw the Renekton, said, I can play this matchup, and he was absolutely right about it, has the grasp, and made that fight work with just the sheen and the burn, had the damage to kill him.
Definitely very impressive stuff here. Here's the Pro View replay. Mike Young looking for this dragon straight in, hits the smite, easy Q out.
Yep.
Makes it look pretty simple, but definitely looking for a dive now here on the bottom side.
Good save. FBI saw it coming and pulls far enough back that he can simply pull Huhi to safety. And though they're on a ward, Mike Young and the rest of the crew are going to walk out. There's no more waves, so no more dive.
Yeah, and you can see, thanks in part to that freeze that Apollo and Hakuo had been actually holding, they are up farm. They're up 13, 14 CS right now. That will even up a little bit, but the gold is going to be pretty comparable between these two guys, despite the fact that there is 3 kind of kills total on the other side. Oh,
ooh, double flash and the cleanse gets Froggen out. He finds not quite the slow to Mike Young because of the Arctic armor, and not going to gain anything else, so just the wave clear.
Yeah, well responded to by Froggen, but still, you're going to be very happy to take that trade as Mike Young. That is both summoners down on Froggen. I would say that's an easy return gank later on. That's something, especially if you're going to bring up the Nautilus. If next time Sejuani's ult is up, you just walk Nautilus up and press R on Froggen. There's not really any counterplay to that. He has no flash, no cleanse. Yasuo can follow up. The knockup can guarantee the Sejuani ult. So now I want to see, will Echo Fox actually make good on that advantage that they've gained themselves?
Maybe. We'll see if they can make something happen out of this one. It's been, unfortunately, a very weak summer split so far for the squad, as now mid lane's being attacked. The ult comes through as well. Big damage. That might almost be enough. Phoenix down below 200 HP, walks away.
Yeah, you got to be really careful about that. Windwall also does not work on the ultimate from Vel'Koz, so certainly do have that potential. If you ever get tagged by a knockup, you are in danger against Vel'Koz. The knockup guarantees both parts of your W. That's one passive proc, then a full channeled ultimate can really look to 100-0 you, even with a little bit of MR in the kit here already for Phoenix. And he has a fair bit of HP with double Doran's item plus the Merc Shreds. Is a fairly defensive setup, but you can see the power of that Vel'Koz.
Staying alive, farm within 1 between these players, and that's despite a gank coming through for Golden Guardians to help Froggen out. So I would say Phoenix still doing a very good job in his lane matchup so far, and now Azil comes in to add some more damage. We look back at how Solo is faring against Haunter and simply stacking Grasp at the end, dying. Looking to count that one, and he's dealt 400 damage. He's triggered it 18 times so far, so a pretty decent amount of health been gained. Yeah. Solo getting tankier.
Yeah, I mean, it does really add up, right? You get the 5 additional HP every single time you do craft that. So now a gank up on the top side.
Orange is used, body slam, flash, explosive cast, no way out, and Huhi gonna grab his 3rd kill. Mage supports at work.
Yeah, Huhi on the roam up to the top side. Nice gank there. Despite the fact that Solo got the 1v1 kill, there's no flash on him, so there's not really any way for him to actually get out of that play. And it is Golden Guardians making the punish on the summoner being down. Echo Fox have not yet been able to punish Froggen, who is most of the way back towards his cleanse as well. So you want to see them making good on that. Getting the summoner out is nice, but you don't inherently really get anything from that if you don't make a return gank and actually punish them for not having their summoners.
Well, Herald taken down on the top side. One top lane plate was destroyed by minions with no one around to claim that gold. But look at this on the bottom side. 4 plates to the Echo Fox side with Huhi roaming up. They knew they had space for the 2v1. FBI left to only grab scraps down here. Bot lane turning around.
Yeah, here this is one more time. No ward in the river there for Solo. He did have Scuttle, but there's just no way out of this one. That's Predator, Body Slam, Flash. You're not escaping that when the ultimate does come through as well. So clean gank there from Contracts, well executed, but they are losing plates on that bottom side. Very close to first turret going down. Contracts is here, but so is Mike Young.
Ult FBI, but the team is around to keep him safe. Mike Young can come in now, but a nice save finds the FBI. They're going to put a lot of damage on a Callista. He's still trying to run away. The slow from Gangplank building a lot of space. Now Huhi is running as well. Finds one bind. Contracts. Nice stopwatch, gets away from a bit. Looking for round 2. Not going to kill him. The dive is survived. by Golden Guardians.
Yeah, well played there from the Golden Guardians, able to disengage despite the fact that Solo drops his ultimate there. Phoenix roams down, not quite in time to pick up a kill, but they do get the ultimate off of FBI as well as both the summoners, and now they're on Felcause.
Anchor finds the ulti on the Froggen, but he's still a little bit too tanky. There's no attack damage yet on the squad. Damage to Hakuho. Down about as low as he had got Phoenix down a while ago. 120 left, running away, clearing the minions, healing back up as wards go down.
Yeah, putting out a lot of burst there is Froggen. Already has that Ludens completed. Haunter did roam down towards mid lane, but should have been spotted by that Pixel Brush ward, so we'll be heading now back up to collect the wave on the top side. But Solo, despite getting killed off there, he has a 13-minute essentially Triforce, and he's at a very, very strong part of the game for himself. Golden Guardians, though, thanks to the reset here from Echo Fox, they knew Hakuho went mid, got chunked out. They can start up the Dragon, and we'll grab themselves the Inferno.
Turret getting lower and lower in the bottom lane, but as plates fall, the Herald is summoned, and this actually might be enough for first mid turret based on how much they want to stay. The charge will bring it low. And Phoenix looks like he's threatening enough with the rest of the squad. Now Connor's got to be careful, jumps over the wall, and looks like mid-turret will indeed live. We've got several turrets now within an inch of their lives.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Golden Guardians, though, that was a few seconds after the plates fell, so that would have been, an additional 320 gold or so, depending on how many plates they could have got after the initial 2 on the charge. And we'll see who can make the follow-up play to actually knock down one of these turrets, because first turret is still on the table, both in bot and mid lane.
Who again finds the knockup, Cleanse flashing away, and Froggen, well, he's gonna live, but he's against summoners down, and Phoenix keeps getting the better of the one-on-ones.
Yeah, feeling pretty good about that one, but at the same time, it wasn't punished last time those summoners were down. They were not able to actually take out the Vel'Koz. We'll see if they can do a little bit better with that now that they have that opportunity once more. But for now, you can see Contracts up on the top side, was farming his Krugs. Should have been spotted by that ward that was actually, up there actually protecting Solo. This is a pretty nice ward to actually protect you from any potential tri-brush or even laying ganks. If you are looking to push in and kind of harass your opponent under his turret, as Solo is right now.
Solo just farming away with Triforce done. You pretty much always one-shot cast him into the barrel. And that's always free money. Nice. Oh, just not in time. The last quarter second of the recall is not interruptible by damage, and that was the timer there. So Spear of Shojin done. Now Haunter has his first power spike. Both these players have the ninja tabbies, and we'll see what this fight looks like with the new item adding some texture to it.
Yeah, we've been seeing so much more Shojin these days as well. It used to always be Black Cleaver, and now people are just prioritizing Shojin, which is incredible in 1v1.
Flash R, the shield comes in, the anchor back in as well. Look at the damage out of Lux. The fight continues as Froggen's going to fall. Phoenix will be next though. 1-for-1 now. Contract on the chopping block picked up now as well. The knockup is going to mean a kill onto Mike Young. Now looks like 2-for-2 overall. Same role's dead.
Yeah, they are able to get that 2-for-2 trade. It does cost the TP out of Haunter as well, so still probably okay with that trade there for Echo Fox. It could have gone a lot better. Phoenix really wasn't able to get much done at all in that fight. Didn't get his summoners off, couldn't get the ultimate off either there. So a nice response from Golden Guardians to be able to trade one back. And the initial play onto Froggen, he is warded out. Flash ultimate is landed. But it was a really huge body slam there from Contracts, actually. The body slam interrupting Phoenix at the same time as Hakuho's hook landed, which would have allowed him to get the ultimate off. So not able to land that Yasuo ult. As a result, he does get CC'd up and locked down.
And that means we still have this tied game right here as the kills were put back and forth, and it's not been any turrets yet to fall. Despite the Golden Guardians' kill lead, Echo Fox have done a better job of overall laning. Gangplank by himself is some of it, of course, as well, but you can see this gold difference is not very big, under 400, despite it being a 2-kill lead on the one side. That's turret plates and farm at work right there.
Well, Contracts down here now is spotted.
He can feel safe. He's got a Kalista on his team. Nice anchor. Gonna find the route towards Contracts, and out he's gonna walk. No slow for Frog, and now comes the rest of Echo Fox, who he's still low, but again, Kalista actually does not have the ultimate, so who he could be a target. Not gonna happen though, out they go.
Yeah, and we could see Apollo and Hakuho try to push for this turret. It is so low. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea for Mike Young to actually just go bot and essentially just walk up the lane with your team, try to finish off that turret. You know, it's a couple autos away from actually falling. And it does seem like they're heading down towards bot once again. Now they have cleared out this mid lane, so it may be the idea. They're trying to look to threaten a 4-man play to at least secure first turret, and they will be able to grab it.
There's at least the turret, and the backwards body slam. Golden Guardians not willing to stick around for much of this, and it's going to be a gold lead for Echo Fox for the first time in kind of a while here. But looking now pretty solid for them, 1,500 gold up.
Yeah, and the longer they are forming, they have some really powerful scaling in their solo lanes, especially Yasuo and GP are going to be monstrously strong in the late game. Certainly Vel'Koz, you know, and Renekton are not going to fall off anytime soon, and Vel'Koz I really think does kind of match that scaling, but it can get difficult, I always feel like, you know, in the late game stages for Kalista.
Nice.
As who he's actually going to steal that away with his ultimate. Well done. Because Kalista being relatively short range against all these champions here, you have so many things to actually deal with. There's point and click CC. Yasuo is going to be extremely threatening. If you build something like, you know, pretty PD or to try to deal with that, well, now there's a Syndra who can still one-shot you. Like, there's so many things to deal with here as the Kalista that I am a little bit worried about how the team fights will look for FBI later on.
Absolutely the case. I have liked Echo Fox's drafts overall so far this week. They felt like really strong, consistent team fighting squads with a good front line and plenty of damage to back it up. Just had not turned them into wins just yet. FlyQuest took them out yesterday, and now fighting a close one against Golden Guardians. Echo Fox do have a bit of a lead, a bit of a faster paced game here, and they are grouped around the mid lane. Infernal Drake is alive. Golden Guardians got the first one. It would be nice for Echo Fox to tie that up. The first one is worth more.
Yeah.
Looking now at the next play, damage for Hakuo.
Pretty much every cooldown up on both sides now. Froggen just barely doesn't have his flash, but likely will be available by the time this fight breaks out. They are stacking up those spears. They're committing to this, so Phoenix needs to get down here.
CC not landing just yet. Here comes Echo Fox jumping forward, looking for the flash, and they're not going to find any smites at all, so two picked up here. But Contracts taking 1 million damage. Mike Young secures the first kill, and now FBI has to jump over the wall. Does so, not going to get anchored either, but now Solo is back in the mix, going to be stunned, going to take a lot of damage, and here comes Vel'Koz. It's one kill picked up. Over the wall goes Solo. Haunter on the chase. Is he in range for Q? He almost is, and it might just be enough. Hoping to lock down Solo as well.
Soon.
Hakuo coming around the wings, hoping to buy some time for the squad. There's the dash, the Q's almost enough damage. There's the oranges. He's gonna go right back on a Haunter, and it's one answered back. No CC, not that's going to matter at the very least. Huhi now after shot goes down. Bit of poke comes across, but it's still the Drake going to Golden Guardians and the kills going very close.
Yeah, Golden Guardians still gonna be really happy about the overall play, but frustrating one for Haunter to not be able to finish off Solo there. Still double Infernal, such a big advantage for this team. Everyone on their squad is going to be building some AP and AD. There's no pure tank whatsoever, so that really is a significant advantage. And I certainly do give them the edge right now, despite the slight gold lead that Echo Fox has.
And Solo is just farming up a storm on the other side, though, and remains up in gold. 2 out of Spike going to be easily available for him. We've watched that fight again.
Yeah, Phoenix went over to mid lane to try to push that up, but Golden Guardians just straight up started it up. And despite the fact that you do actually lock down and take out Contracts, that is not the main threat here. I do think Echo Fox got a little bit overzealous. After you've taken down that Gragas, you still have to keep track of the Vel'Koz. That is really the biggest threat. Froggen had great positioning, backed off, and was able to turn around and fire out that full channeled ultimate. With him in combination with Haunter and Huhi, they have a lot of frontline damage. But then this is just a great little play as they notice Golden Guardians has essentially gotten split up. The 3-man squad walked into that little blue pit. Haunter continued to chase, so Hakuo goes in, turns around that fight, and does get a kill on Haunter.
Yeah, looking pretty good. Luxel right now does 400 damage on the current inventory of Huhi. He has gotten that a little bit of extra gold and was able to push towards the earlier Athenes, and that's been useful for him so far. We now look at the rest of the state of the map, though, and it's again a play towards top side as Apollo and Hakuo push in, but that's wave through by FBI.
Yeah, and the Athenes is so much, you know, really about the survivability that it's going to add, because you have the 5 points already in the prismatic barrier. You know, if you're hitting multiple members in a team fight, you know, it can be thousands of effective HP if you're constantly getting that out. Extremely, extremely powerful. And the poke, just adding that charges onto the Athenes, it will be an additional burst of healing to help potentially protect from any Yasuo-type combos, which could be bursting someone down.
Well, double flat pen done for Apollo now, so if no one is building magic resist, he's going to do nearly true damage, and it's really only the bottom lane itemized against him.
Yeah, really just
scaling stats otherwise.
It's Merc Treads, that's it, right? Like there's, you know, Merc Treads, there's one null in the Athenes as well, but but really not a lot of MR being picked up whatsoever because these two soul laners are so threatening. So it does bode fairly well for Apollo, who is going to have a lot of pretty good targets. You know, even someone like Contracts. Contracts is not even Aftershock, right? You know, his stopwatch is already used. You can just ult a Gragas at the start of a team fight and kill him. So you know, that is certainly very viable. We will see how they want to try to play out these fights, as Haunter likely going to be chased out of this side lane here. Gangplank already on 2 items, and it does become pretty tough to actually have any potential all-in against once you have the Sterix complete. Since he can W out of one of your stuns, you have the ability to get multiple sets of stuns out with that Spear of Shojin, but it's unlikely that Haunter would have enough damage to take a full-on 1v1 when he's this far behind.
Well, another ultimate upgrade now available for Solo, just cashed in the Silver Serpents once again, and you can see he's actually building very heavily for his one-on-one. You can see the Sterix Gauge coming in, and to make sure you can kind of survive some more of the burst damage coming out from the opposing squad. Now going towards armor penetration, has a serrated Dirk in the build, but this is a very quickly scaling Gangplank who is continuing to be very, very threatening. Froggen has his double poke build done with Leandri's plus Luden's Echo. 1 Q is going to do half of a Squishy's health in some cases. That'll be really valuable on that side.
Yeah, definitely the case. And Phoenix now completing some of his items. He has his Sterix as well. So you know, the IE will be delayed a fair bit with this style of build, but it does allow you to kind of brawl a lot more, and you're less likely to just be 100-0'd in any sort of CC. So you know, it's more of kind of a scrappy style of build that he's going for here. I still expect to see the IE third. In some cases, people will delay for Bloodthirster, but unlikely.
Ooh, a lot of burst damage, but a turnaround as now it's 2 champions dead, 1 on each side. The chase down might just not happen. Haunter in a little bit of a skirmish with Solo, not slowed down by the barrels, though, able to walk away. Jungler for support.
I mean, that's just what I'm talking about. Contracts has no survivability against Apollo here, so they're now looking for Solo.
They're going to find a chain of knockups, and Gangplank, caught by himself, walks the plank, down he goes.
Really nicely done. Golden Guardians should be able to grab themselves another dragon here as a result, but you know, the initial pick onto Hakuo cost Golden Guardians more than they really got, right? That was Flash Ultimate coming out of Contracts to get a kill on a support, and then he's instantly died afterwards. Unfortunately for Echo Fox, Solo going down meant that despite the fact that Golden Guardians had no jungler, they still get to take the dragon. And here's the initial engage, and it is a good one, but it's a lot committed to take down that support. Contracts just got absolutely erased off the map. Solo sticking around here to kind of clear out some vision, does wander down the river to go for the scuttle, and Golden Guardians have grouped up a really nice Q around the wall there from Froggen to get the initial slow, and it does allow them to get the big shutdown off of Solo.
And even after that, they get a turret as well, so map opening up a little bit. Keep in mind, Echo Fox are still up in turrets, and they are indeed still up in gold by 1,000, so don't want to sell them too short here, but it still feels like Golden Guardians are the ones being more proactive and kind of getting more done.
Yeah, and I mean, when you add in the even just the combat power from the 2 Infernals, it certainly, I think, more than makes up for the slight gold lead on the other side. You know, that is going to be very, very impactful with the style of composition that Golden Guardians do have. But we can see Phoenix now with that crit cloak should be working towards the IE third. That is such an incredibly strong item completion for Yasuo when you can get there, putting you to 100% crit and really allowing you to have much more of that 100-0 all-in potential in a team fight.
Yep.
And until then, you know, they do still have this really strong ability to play in the side lanes. It's going to be very hard for Golden Guardians to have people to match on both sides. They really only have the one kind of split pusher with the Renekton. Vel'Koz does not want to be sitting in a 1v1 in this side lane.
No. He'll get run down by Yasuo pretty easily. You can win wall, I think, all the important spells. The ones that would push him away, but now push towards the top side as they're going to find the body slam, a little bit of damage, but pushes them actually out of Final Spark. Now, where the re-engage comes across, could be enough damage to the contract. Zonia's pop by 2.5 seconds. Minno's not going to come out in time, actually. It's a little bit mistimed, but could still chase down. Does get that one. Now look at Haunter in the top side. Going to find some shields. Going to find
the ulti.
The knock-up. Look at the play now towards the backside of Froggen as FBI is on a rampage. And look at the damage coming back across. Knocks down Phoenix as well. 2 for 1. Favor of Golden Guardians.
Yeah, Golden Guardians able to take it in that extended fight as Phoenix dives deep onto Froggen, but not nearly enough damage to actually close out that kill. Huhi being so big in that fight, non-stop Lux shielding coming across and really helping them to survive throughout that one.
Now pushing onto the turret, Solo can do a little bit, can clear the wave. That turret's down to about 1/3 HP, and he still feels comfortable. Knocks down a Scryer's Bloom, or a Blast Plant rather, and FBI keeps pushing. Golden Guardians still feel like they are the ones with the tempo. Gold lead now shrunk to 500, and keep in mind it's more than 1,000 to earn through the Gangplank queue, so in earned gold otherwise, you can kind of consider Golden Guardians ahead.
Yeah, and they certainly aren't. And this is a nice play from Golden Guardians. Looking at collapse on the side lane. They do go from Phoenix, but a little bit of anti-synergy there as Contract's ultimate knocks the Yasuo away from Hui's Lux laser. You can see Phoenix is able to finish off Contracts there on the side, but FBI barely sneaking out of the fight with so little health, and then Phoenix fishing for the ultimate does connect onto Froggen, but the Lux shielding the flash away. Froggen is able to stand then and fire his laser through the team, grabbing another kill, and he is very, very close now to the death cap. When you hit that death cap, in addition to double Infernal, your AP is going to skyrocket. And he is really going to be such a problem for Echo Fox. It kind of feels like you have to kill him.
Oh, that was stun. I believe it was going to be just a slow anyway. Either way, Froggen burns the cleanse and walks right out.
Yeah, very, very quick. I'm not sure if that was the Captain Jack or if he cleansed and didn't need to, but it was so quick.
Looked cool regardless. Doesn't matter.
I'm going to give it to him. It's the Captain Froggen QSS there.
Okay, Hakuo gets a shield thrown at him. There's the Yasuo engaged, looking at big damage in the Contracts, who does have the Zonias. And gets popped by Gangplank. Over the wall goes He's saved by FBI. But Solo gonna that is a lot of damage to those barrels.
They can go to Baron though now. Contracts is actually down. I think you start Baron 100% here. You can potentially look for the turn, but you should definitely at least try. They have to be pretty careful though about Vel'Koz over the wall. Froggen now is 16. He does have the ultimate available and will be incredibly threatening. So we'll see if they try to look for a turn here. That's 1 Q, half of Apollo's health.
Finds some Q poke. FBI's nearby as well, but no way to save people. He back on the map. And the health bars get low, and Haunts are spreading them apart. 4,000 health. Keep in mind, there is a smite advantage for Mike Young. They should be able to commit, but they're not going. Hakuo, is they going to ult? He's going to find the engage. They're going over the wall, looking for the team fight, and it's going to be a shutdown on the Vel'Koz already. 1 for 0. Phoenix finds a knockdown to 2. FBI going to pop a stopwatch by a few seconds, but there is not a way out. They should be able to kill him, but he's not dying yet. He finally goes down. Now does Haunter set it up? He does.
They're so low.
The stopwatch. He burns him with the ultimate, and now it's Mike Young with nowhere to go. He will get shut down as well, and Golden Guardians do indeed turn it around. They get the ace.
And Golden Guardians can take this Baron now. You have the 3-man Baron here. With the Lux shielding, it should be enough to grab it for them. What a fight from GGS. Here it is one more time. Echo Fox make the right call to actually look for the turn and fight, but Huhi now is arriving by the time they have kind of finally made this call. They've already gotten poked down a little bit. Apollo at half health. Mike Young down to about half as well. Flash ultimate comes in from Hakuo over here onto Froggen, and you have to think that once Froggen is down, they could have won this fight, but they do not have the damage to actually fully burst out FBI. Huhi softening up a lot of the members with that ultimate across, and then as Haunter comes into the middle, ultimate available, knocking down so many members, all these low health bars just falling down for Echo Fox. It's a delayed ace as well as that Baron. Golden Guardians take full control of the game.
There's a bit of a slow Baron take with their major carries dead, but the item spikes have come through. Guardian Angel for FBI. Death Cap is in for Froggen, and it really does feel like momentum has swung the rest of the way over. Ardent Sensor and a new stopwatch now in for Huhi as well to continue to buff his team and let them auto attack. Keep in mind, it is a 5-carry team with 2 Infernal Drakes and now Baron on top. Is going to feel very comfortable for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, no kidding. They do still have to be careful. You know, there still are ways that Echo Fox can get back into this one, but Mike Young probably needs to give up this red buff.
They're going to look for an opening right now. It's a lot. First Apollo, who the explosive cask is shut down.
Oh my God, he just got erased. It looked like they were actually going to be able to pull away that red buff and look for the Syndra combo plus Smite and take that down, but just ends up being Apollo dying. That's most of your wave there right now. This is guaranteed. I think you lose an inhibitor, maybe even just lose the game.
Golden Guardians, 32 minutes into the game, going to completely crack butt hitter. They're going to go for the end right now. 5v4, Baron buff on. Gold is close. GP is going to be the wave. Clear some burst towards Phoenix. He'll stay alive, though. Look at the next round of this fight is Huhi was dropped, and he can't self-heal. It seems only works on teammates. So Golden Guardians got a wave, going to have to back up. But In 12 seconds they try again. Looks like it's gonna be the reset instead. Apollo is respawning, but it's still an inhibitor taken for that pick.
Yeah, really nicely done. They do grab that inhibitor, and they actually force Phoenix, off of the split push, so he's not even able to take down that top tier 2 turret, getting that red buff where it all started out previously. Phoenix, though, critically has his Infinity Edge, so that is a very big deal for him. You can see that Apollo now on death cap 3 items as well for that Syndra. So the items certainly are coming through for Echo Fox, 4 items for the Gangplank. So they are still very strong, but Golden Guardians has a big edge in this game. It will still come down to how you manage the engages, because it is close enough that if Echo Fox get a good engage and a kill on a carry right away, you can still win a fight.
Well, right now, mid-tier 2 is going to drop. There's still a minute left on the Baron buff. And the question is, does Echo Fox want to fight against the increased extra stats? Nice cast, but no follow-up, so Apollo's going to stay alive. Now a stun to the back line. Big Yasuo trying to find some kills. Stopwatch is popped by a couple players, but is this the fight Echo Fox wanted? They're looking for the re-engage, but Mike Young's going to drop down, and Phoenix disintegrated as well by the Leandri's Torment. With a 5v3, certainly Golden Guardians should have what they need to win. A quick recall for Hanzo to heal back up, and this could be just the game now.
Yeah, he can just TP right back in with his buy. They are looking to close this one out. 3v5 on the map for Echo Fox.
They're going to go through the bottom lane, not even looking at the middle inhibitor turret at all. They've got a wave instead with 25 seconds on the buff. 5v3 to close it out, to push back up to 5 and 5. That's going to be a route onto Apollo. Some damage over the top as well. Gangplank will buying some space, and Golden Guardians will actually pull back. They'll go for the inhibitor turret itself. They'll drop the inhib as well, and they will take the lesser gain, but no, they're going to go right back in for the fight. But as the squad is respawning, this could get a little bit dangerous. Send towards Huhi, decent damage there. And now it's 4 alive as the wave is cleared. It will be Golden Guardians not ending it just yet, but getting the second inhibitor down.
Yeah, they do take a second inhib, so they're going to be feeling pretty good about that, but not able to close it out once more. So Echo Fox still around with a chance in this game. But Froggen has just been such a problem. It has been very difficult for them to actually take him out quick enough in the fights. Even then, they got a great engage onto him, but the stopwatch bought so much time for the rest of the squad to be dealing damage, and you don't have an AD carry here on the side of Echo Fox. They don't really have that same form of kind of consistent DPS. Here's the engage one more time over onto Froggen. Does kind of come over the wall, I do believe. And we'll see just how quickly he was able to actually react to it. As there's the Nautilus ult, the flash Q as well comes in from Mike Young. But the immediate stopwatch from him, and you can see FBI getting constant damage out during this whole time, then flashes back over the wall, channels his ultimate. And in the meantime, Haunter is just focusing Phoenix. He went straight for Phoenix, stuns him up, looks for the Shojin resets for a second stun. That is the consistent DPS, is really just this Yasuo. So if Yasuo is being constantly stunned up, and as soon as you get hit by the Renekton stun, well, then it's an easy binding. Then it's an easy body slam, and it becomes very difficult for Phoenix to be constantly pumping out DPS, whereas FBI was just hopping around in this fight. So they really do need an initial clean pick, and it's going to be so difficult with multiple waves of super minions coming in across the map.
Oh God. Double bind! The double penetrating laser!
Gone!
And Apollo has crashed down to earth. There's going to be kills coming through. 5v4 yet again. Baron not even spawned, but doesn't matter. The final inhibitor going to be opened up for sure. And at what point can Echo Fox choose to fight? They're already outnumbered. They're outgunned as well. And even the minions going to start outfighting them. They're going to find the knockup, though. They're going to find that kill. They do pick off Froggen, so now it's 4 on 4. Is this the fight? Can Phoenix make it work? He finds a knockup, but no. Shut down by FBI. And the chase is in for Solo. Gets the shield, but it's not going to be enough. Now Mike Young chased down. Also dropped. That's going to be the ace. That's going to be every single kill they need. And Golden Guardians will find their 5th win. They will crush the Nexus turrets, and they will take down Echo Fox.
And what a win it was from the Golden Guardians. Froggen does get absolutely deleted there, but a great showing from FBI and Huhi. Only 1 death between the two. 7-1 and 13 for the Kalista, 5-0 and 19 for the Lux. This bottom lane was enormous for Golden Guardians, and Echo Fox just not quite able to find those fights and getting torn apart by these long-range engages. This damage coming, it looked like it was actually a Runic Echo's kill, I think, onto Apollo. I don't think that the Gragas ultimate actually hit him.
Okay.
It looked like it hit someone else and splashed Runic Echoes onto Apollo and died. So
Either way, it was enough, and Golden Guardians finally turned their fates back around. It had been a bit of a slide for a while. 4 losses in a row. CLG, Team Liquid, TSM, and Optic, all the 4 of the top teams had all knocked them down, and they're hoping to have a better look this time around. But finally picking up a win now. They are going to end week 5 with a 50% win rate with 8 teams to play, and hoping that they can do a bit better than last time around, where they did drop out first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely the case. Looking to build upon that, and it's got to feel good for Huhi. I think his first LCS support win.
Yeah?
I don't believe he ever role swapped to support and win. I'm good.
I don't think so. I think he was mid and top only.
Yeah, so pretty cool to see that. FBI, a really good performance from him.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of OPL fans going to be very excited to see him showing up well in the LCS.
Yeah, I mean, very clearly there is a goal with the Golden Guardians duo lane, and it is aggression and trying to win lane. And even though they lost to Optic yesterday, they were winning lane early until Meteos counterganked. Here, they had a level 3 tower dive, which is 2 for 0. They have been lane dominant in our 2-game sample so far. That's exciting for Golden Guardians fans, and FBI fans. Now, for more on the victory, Avli standing by with the Lux carry in the bottom lane.
Thanks, guys. Huhi, congratulations. Perfect game for you on that support Lux. First weekend back in the LCS on a new team and in a new role. So tell me, what's it like to be back on stage?
I mean, it feels pretty nice, and especially on a new role. Like, I had my debut yesterday on LCS stage, and also Victor FBI also did. And we were just pretty sad that we lost our first debut, and we didn't really show a great showing as well. So I think going into this game, we just wanted to pick comfort picks and also show what we were capable of. So we're pretty happy how it turned out.
So for some of us, it was a little bit of a surprise to see you join Golden Guardians Academy on the support role. So tell me a little bit about that transition for you.
I think just as a player, like, my playstyle was always kind of supporting the team, like, in and out of the game, and like roaming a lot. So I just thought, like, after I had a bad split on 100 Thieves, I thought it was a pretty good, like, refreshing to myself to swap role. And yeah, I choose to role swap to support, and I got in the Golden Guardians, and they're really supportive to me. Like, they teach me a lot. Like, FBI is teaching me a lot of lane matchups too. So I'm really happy about that.
And when you joined Golden Guardians Academy, was it always the plan for you to potentially have this swapping into LCS?
Honestly, I didn't really like plan it. Like, obviously, I wanted to join an academy team because I thought, like, I knew that I wasn't ready for the support on LCS, and I wanted to give myself some time to learn about lane matchups and all those things in lane, and then, like, maybe do it next split or something. But I guess they kind of saw, like, they wanted to give us some opportunity, and FBI and I are, like, trying to show too.
We're glad to see you back on the LCS stage. Huhi, again, congratulations. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you, Avali. Golden Guardians picking up their first win with FBI and Huhi in the lineup. Huhi making that role swap as he called out. Feels like he was a more supportive member of all of the teams he was a part of as a mid laner. Makes it a natural transition down to the bot lane and the support role.
Looked like a carry to me. He picked up so many kills. I don't think he knows. I saw him throwing out E's last second trying to snipe the kills.
Yeah, he's probably still got to break some of those kill-stealing habits of a mid laner there. But I was going to say, of all champions to be picking up kills, Lux is one of the good ones.
Yeah, it is, right? Or pretty much all of them, actually, now.
Right now with the support meta, it's okay to...
I don't want my Nautilus with 4 kills.
All right, fair enough.
I will say, in terms of draft, I do like what Golden Guardians did. I was going to ask them to return to the playstyle we kind of saw yesterday, which was a lot of really aggressive lanes. You basically have 3 aggressive lanes here. Vel'Koz wants to try and snipe people out and blow people up. Your bot lane wants to go fight all the time and kind of be lane dominant. And then top side, Renekton is picked to be lane dominant. So you're trying to get 3 winning lanes. But I think Echo Fox did a good job of finding strong matchups still into what Golden Guardians was drafting.
Yeah, I loved what Echo Fox did here. No AD carry, sitting with a Syndra and the Nautilus in the bottom lane. So a ton of synergy when it comes to setting up your Yasuo. The problem was they had no clue how to play around Yasuo. It just was not there. Yasuo Sejuani is a combination that is S tier just as Gragas Yasuo is, but no one's using it. They blow summoner spells out of Froggen, no return ganks. They blow more cooldowns out of players, no return ganks. The idea is to go to Yasuo as often as possible. It's a low cooldown ultimate, but instead that never played out. They never really try to set him up, and so the Yasuo is even or behind, so he's pretty much useless.
Yeah, I want to take a look at the early game piece by piece here, Mark, because as you mentioned, Golden Guardians drafts what should be 3 strong lanes, and from a kill perspective, Golden Guardians did pick up a number of them early on in the bot lane.
This was a super impressive dive. The juggling of the turret aggro, going in and out, landing extra skill shots, getting hits in. So, FBI perfectly puts in just a little bit of extra damage to get that last kill. And then on the flip side, when it's the Syndra's turn to go aggressive, once again, super well played by Golden Guardians on an eye test level where they're able to bait out a 4-man engage plus the GP ultimate.
I'm gonna pause that right there. Phoenix's pathing is bad here. Why are you going through river? If you path topside, you actually set yourself up to go for a tower dive now. So instead of going for the extra mile, making sure that you really punish a mistake, he joins with the team and instead just 4-man lanes the lane instead of going for an aggressive move. And that's the kind of mentality you gotta go for when you're playing a Yasuo comp. You need to be getting those kills, but Fox tried, so good job.
Here's the peculiar thing, though, right? Kills plus assists at 15, 12 for Golden Guardians, but down in gold just slightly at 15 minutes, so something wasn't working.
It was as good as the bot lane plays looked. They were still down a fair amount of CS in a lot of their key roles. Their junglers behind, their bot lanes behind, because after those good plays, he went topside to get a kill after Haunter got solo killed, and then during that time you lose 4 plates and farm in the bot lane. So all these great drafts and mechanical plays were kind of undone by their macro and some laning mistakes elsewhere on the map. So this was starting to be concerning. Luckily, they got 2
I was going to
Inferno
say,
Drakes.
we got the first step of things we've been asking for teams from North America, which is in the drafting phase, right? To pick things that are more aggressive, to find ways to pick up advantages early.
Just to even zero in on the draft, by taking Lux and Gragas early on and saving that last pick, like the Vel'Koz did, Lux and Gragas are flexes in jungle and support and mid, so it actually is really confusing to deal with, so it forces Echo Fox to be a lot more defensive. So those 2 are actually really good in flex.
Right, so we love the draft. I think, to your point, Mark, there is still some cleanliness and execution that needs to follow to convince us that, yes, this is the type of composition Golden Guardians should feel the permission to draft at any given time.
Yeah, I mean, your top lane Renekton getting solo killed, he was super baited by Solo, who kept running up and shooting him, and he ults and tries to run in and still dies. So, I thought, Solo kind of manhandled Haunter before the team help started coming in, but then that cost them their bot lane lead. So they need to figure out some of this laning stuff to actually run these comps, but the idea is good.
Right, of course. And then, as you mentioned, the game did go on for quite some time. Echo Fox had maybe an opportunity to pull it back with the Baron play. We're going to play this one out here. With control and Golden Guardians jungler dead, they look to turn off.
Yeah, and I think this was after they, like you said, picked Contracts, who is just respawning now, but they don't have any follow-up ultimates really available. The Yasuo can't easily follow that up. The Sejuani can't combo the stun, and the GP can't drop his ultimate on top. So you're engaging on 2 full health members without any significant follow-up. So while you do kill the Vel'Koz quite quickly, you're getting poked out and chunked down, and now you're not focusing the Baron. And it's getting to this prolonged sequence where, now Contracts is back alive. He's collapsing in. The extra range available for Golden Guardians comp is coming online and killing all of them. They could have just stuck on the Baron and used that Nautilus ult to zone people away like the Vel'Koz. And maybe you kill your Nautilus to get that Baron. I just really don't like turning off a Baron when you have killed the enemy jungler and you don't have your tools available for a clean turn.
You got Wind Wall to peel that off, and even if the call is to peel off it, I think that you can respect that call. The problem is the time where they're in between, that diddly-dally, like, should we do it, should we not, should we do it, should we not, and then you waste so much time, take damage, the spawn timers are coming back up, the enemy position's better, and that time could have been used to clear out the control ward, make it harder for them to collapse on you. Kalista comes in, Kalista's a non-factor, you have a wind wall. But you can wind wall a lot of Vel'Koz's abilities as well, so they're not using the tools they have at their disposal, or at least thinking about them before they engage into the Baron play. Because if you run all these scenarios in your head by the time you're at Baron, you know exactly what you need to do. You say, okay, well, I have all this, can we turn? It's like, no, we can't turn. Then the call is easy. You go engage. If you have them, then you say, you turn, and then you go ahead and you engage right away. And so you waste less time, you keep your HP up.
A bit of a misstep from Echo Fox there when the game perhaps was in their reach. For Golden Guardians, though, nice to pick up a win with FBI and Huhi in the lineup. We're stepping away. When we return, it's Cloud9 versus Clutch Gaming. Don't go anywhere.